Welcome to our Excel Basic Lesson 2 session. Today we will discuss about some basic functions of Excel. These are SUMIF, SUMIF sum, COUNTIF, COUNTIF sum. These are the very basic functions of Excel. We will discuss this function with some real life example. Here, these are the employee's name, employee working in the division, employee's designation, and their salary. By using COUNTIF, COUNTIF sum, SUMIF and SUMIF sum, we will solve some basic problems. These are, we will find out manpower of each departments, number of manager working in each departments, salary paid for each departments, and department wise salary against managers. First, we want to find out how many employees are working in these departments. Here are the department name, and now we want to find out the number of employees working in the account division. For this, we will use COUNTIF function. Here we write COUNTIF, and here the functions. You just click here, then you will see which cell and what you have to write, or you may write here also. We will write here. From here you will have to select the range where your desired data is available. Here the range is department. Since we want to find out the number of employees working in the accounts division, here the department or division name, that's why our range is this. And our second task is we want to find out the employees working in the accounts division. We may write here accounts, or we may just click here to show the accounts. Now okay, then we have to find that the number of employees working in the accounts division is 3, and if we drag down the cell below, then we will found the number of employees are working in each department. Or we may do another thing, just we may copy it, or we may paste it in the below cell. Now our another task is number of employees whose designation is manager and working for accounts division. That means number of employees, number of manager working in the account division, number of manager working in the marketing division, number of manager working in the business development division. We want to find out that. For this, we have to write here equal COUNTIF sum. Then from functions, first our target is criteria range. Our criteria range 1, our first criteria is employee working in the accounts division. This is our first criteria, and criteria is accounts division. Our second criteria is employee's designation will be manager. Our designation, this is the designation column, and criteria 2 is employee's designation will be manager, manager, then okay. Number of manager working in the accounts division is 2. Number of manager working in the accounts division is 2, and we may copy this formula from here and we may paste it in the another cell. Then number of manager is 3, and our here number of manager is 3. 1 2 3. One thing I have forgotten to say earlier, that where COUNTIF and where COUNTIF sum is used. COUNTIF is generally used when we want to count something, suppose a object in a desired range, then COUNTIF is used. When we want to count a single object, that means accounts based on a single logic, therefore that means we want to find out the number of employees who works in the account division. Here are a single logic, that is employee working in the accounts division. That's why we are using COUNTIF. But when we want to find something based on several logic, then we will use COUNTIF sum function. In our second case, employee will be manager and he will be working for the accounts division. Here our logic is number 2. We will use two logics. First one is employee working in the accounts division, and then his designation will be manager. That's why we are using COUNTIF sum function. That means when we want to sum thing, we want to count something based on several logic or more than one logic, then we will use COUNTIF sum function. Here our second task is we want to sum the salaries of employees who are working in the account division, who are working in the marketing division, who are working in the business development division, and so on. Here our logic is only one. That means we want to sum or add the salary of those employees who are working in the accounts division. But here our logic is two. That means our first logic is the salary of those employees who are working in the accounts division, and our second logic is their designation will be manager. That means employee will be working in the accounts division and his oblique her designation will be manager. That's why we will use here sum if sum function, and we will use here sum if function. That means when we want to something based on a single logic, then we will use sum if, and when we want to something, we want to add something based on several logic or more than one logic, then we will use sum if sum function. Now we want to do it practically. Equal sum if. Now the function range is employees working in division. This is the range. Criteria is which department employees working. Criteria is how we want to find out the salary of accounts divisions employee accounts, and sum range is where the salary of the employee is available. Then okay, and we have to copy it and paste it in other cells. Sorry. Now our last task is department wise salary against manager. Here we have to use two logic. First, employee will be a manager, and second, he is working for accounts division. For this, we will have to use sum if sum function, since here the number of logic is more than one. Sum if sum, and here the function. Our first task is we have to we have to show the account salary. Then our first criteria range is department, employees. Now criteria 1 is department name, in which department employee is working. Here the accounts division. And our second criteria range is designation, and employee designation is manager. Now our logic is okay. What we have done here, I want to repeat. First of all, we have to mention the sum range, what we want to sum or add. And here the first is criteria range, and second one is criteria range 1. That means criteria 1 is department accounts, and criteria range is what department working for. And this is the second criteria is employees designation. Now okay, this is a very simple task, and if you practice it once again, then it will easy for you. Thank you.